Hello. My name is Maddie, and I'm doing my October wrap-up. It's November 5th, so like, I'm doing a great job with this. I swear, okay. I tried to film this video on November 1st, because I was like, we had a streak going, let's keep it going. Trying to film, like, and get it uploaded, like, close to the last day of the month. And then my memory card decided to stop working. Which is just excellent, like exactly what I need. So I had to order a whole new one. And then, we got like crap weather here. Just, I don't even know how it happens. Just, alright, fine, whatever. Like today is not even that great. But it's not raining. And it's not quite as dark as it was yesterday, so like, we're gonna go with this. I'm sorry, but also like, I can't really do anything about it now, so, let's just get started. The first book that I finished in October, at the very, very beginning of October, I think you guys remember I talked about this in my September wrap-up, because that was what I was currently reading, is Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. It's been literally, I forget books so easily. It's been so long since I read this. Like, I don't remember much about it. I know I've talked about it in a couple of other videos as I was reading it. But it was beautiful. That is something that I remember. It was absolutely gorgeous. I died reading it. Not really, but like, you know. I already hauled God's Grave. Haven't started reading it yet, but I will. I promise. This book is about a girl named Mia who's an assassin. And she's, at the beginning of the book, she's trying to get into this like super prestigious assassin school where she can like learn how to be the best assassin so she can avenge her father's death. And her mother's death too, kind of, and her whole family's death, really. And I love this book. It's incredibly dark, so like, if you're not into that, don't read this book. But it's really good. Yeah, the characters were really fleshed out. I really enjoyed that. I don't know what else to say about this, because like I said, I read this so long ago that like, let's move on. What's next? I think Heartstopper, right? I think I have... This is my list of books. It's in this really chock-full journal. Yeah, I have this journal of like quotes, and I also record all the books that I read. So yeah. I don't know if you can see that. I'll just move it up there. It's fine. I'll write on it. After I read Nevernight, as I was continuing to work on The Way of Kings, which like we'll get there, I promise, I read Heartstopper Volume 1 by Alice Oseman, and this book was absolutely adorable. I think I've definitely talked about this book, because I once again read it so early in the month. I've reread it like 3 more times after that, but worth it, because it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Just like, I can't talk about this series without getting tears in my eyes from the cuteness and also from the story. This book is about a boy named Charlie, and he's a year 10 at his all-boys school, and I know he's in England, but I don't remember where in England. And he was outed the past year. It just like, he told his friends and his friends told other people, and then the entire school knew that he was gay, and he was bullied a lot for it. But this year, it's like, it hasn't been that bad. He's been like hooking up with someone, but like not in a good way. Well, not in a healthy way anyway. And then he meets Nick, who sits with him in one of his classes and invites him to be on the rugby team, and they become really good friends. And then they fall in love, and it's beautiful. And both of their journeys of self-discovery is just like beautiful to see, and it's like, we don't know much about what happened to Charlie in year 9 when he was bullied and stuff, but he like, in this book, he just doesn't care. He really doesn't care that, I mean, sometimes it affects him, but a lot of the time he's just sort of like, yeah, haha, funny, like, whatever. And it's just, it's so cool to see him like that, to see him, like, he's accepting of himself, his family is accepting of him, all the people he cares about are accepting of him, and that's all that really matters to him. He doesn't need the validation of everyone else at school. And yeah, this book is beautiful. Okay. Now I'm gonna cry some more and talk about, I think it was Heartstopper Volume 2. Yeah, okay. And talk about Heartstopper Volume 2. I will actually cry talking about this book. So this is a continuation of Heartstopper Volume 1. So like if you haven't, don't pick this book up first, obviously, because you'll understand but you'll be confused, and it's so much better if you read the first volume first, obviously. And this, like I said, is just a continuation of the story, so it picks up right where the last story left off. And this was like hard for me to read in a good way because, as you can see, I like sticky tabbed it. I don't ever sticky tab books, but I sticky tabbed this one because watching Nick go through his like self-discovery, like literally in the beginning, he didn't even know what bisexual meant. He thought gay or straight, that's it. And that kind of hurt reading because that's something that not a lot of people know about. Different sexual orientations just don't come up a lot in, people don't learn about them in school, people just don't know about them unless you did some like deep Tumblr dives in like 2013, 2014. You don't really know how much love and acceptance there can be in the world, if that makes sense. So watching Nick go from I don't even know what bisexuality is to coming into himself, like, I really will cry. I will cry. I did cry reading this book. And volume 2 could not come soon enough. That's all I have to say. And I'm gonna stop crying. And then I reread volume 1 and volume 2 again. Because I can't help it, because I'm completely obsessed. I'm pretty sure I read Heartstopper Volume 2 4 times in the entire month. And honestly, like, just talking about it right now makes me want to reread it. So, like, I probably will. I'll probably read this book, like, 10 times before the end of the year. And that's the only way I'm gonna get to my goal of reading 100 books this year. Because, like, I'm not the only way. I could probably do it, but, like... Okay, next. In between bouts of the Way of Kings, I read Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. And, okay, for those of you who've been living under a rock and don't know, this book is about our main character, Alex, and she is found, and she's the only person alive out of this, like, horrible homicide. And she's in the hospital, and she doesn't really know what happened, and someone from Yale comes, and he's like, hey, we want you to be part of our secret society that, like, regulates other Yale secret societies. We'll get you into Yale, you can get a really good college education, but you also have to, like, help us out. And she's like, well, what do I have left to lose? Sure, let's do it. Oh, shiny. It's so shiny. That was such a tangent. Anyway, so she goes to Yale, and she has to learn how to, like, regulate these secret societies. She has to deal with, like, lots and lots of underestimation. So many people are like, you're a girl who doesn't even live in this area. What the heck are you doing here? But this book was really, really good. I really, really enjoyed it. It does have really a lot of trigger warnings. I have no idea what they would all be. There's definitely, like, murder, sexual assault / rape, like, and it is really hard reading Alex's point of view because she goes through so much, and some of the stuff, like, no one believes that she went through because it was a ghost that, like, because she can see ghosts. That's why the person from Yale was like, hey, come work with us because we need people who can see ghosts. And it's so hard to read from her perspective and see all of the crap she's gotten about like faking it, having imaginary friends, even though like these ghosts aren't her friends, they're trying to hurt her. And people just not believing that she can see ghosts, thinking that she's insane. And that was like a really important part of the story. And I feel like I had more that I wanted to say, and I should have written it down once I finished the book. But once again, because I read it so close or so far into the month that like I just don't really remember at this point. I read too much, guys. Is there such a thing? I don't know. I read too much. I definitely recommend this book if you're in the right headspace. If you're not in the right headspace to read this book, please don't read this book, because it can and will have a negative effect on you. But if you are in the right headspace and you like this sort of stuff, I highly recommend it, because it was really, really good. And if there's not a sequel to this book, I will hunt Leigh Bardugo down and force her to write it, because I need one. That's it. That's all. Thank you. After that, I reread Heartstopper again, because like, and then I picked up Orphan Monster Spy by Killeen. This was a solid book. I don't want to say that it was like amazing, because it wasn't like amazing. It was very average. That sounds, it was very average. Yeah. This book is about a girl named Sarah, and her mother has been teaching her, sort of training her in like, oh look, it's shiny. So many shiny books. I love shiny books. This is irrelevant. Okay. Her mother's been training her since she was young to be like an actress. Well, not really like an actress, but like she's been training her in the art of acting, if that makes sense. And they're Jewish. They're living in Germany. The book starts in 1939, and she and her mother are trying to escape, and her mother gets killed. So she tries to continue to escape by herself, and then she gets caught up with this guy who just calls himself Captain, and he is a British spy living in Germany trying to uncover German secrets, so that the Germans can't win the war. Even though, like, it's not much of a war yet. Like, he's still doing it. So he recruits Sarah. He's like, hey, I need someone who can infiltrate this elite Nazi boarding school to make friends with this girl, to go to her house and like make sure that her dad's not gonna set off a bomb that's gonna kill the entirety of England, or France. I don't remember exactly where he wanted to drop the bomb. So she's like, sure, okay, let's go for it. And yeah, that's what this book is. It was really interesting watching Sarah struggle, because she feels so much, what do you call it? Words are difficult. I don't know why. She feels so much, she's very patriotic. She is a very patriotic person, about Germany, because she's lived there her whole life. And so when she's in this Nazi boarding school, she has to like Heil Hitler and like all this stuff, and she has to keep reminding herself that like, you know, she is doing this for Germany in her own way. She's trying to get rid of this oppression to bring Germany back to what she knows it as. Yeah, like I said, pretty solid book. I do have a trigger warning for you guys. Sexual assault. There's definitely a sexual assault trigger warning in the end. Please be careful. Yeah, there's going to be a book 2. This book didn't really end on like a cliffhanger, but it definitely ended in an ambiguous way, where, you know how like when authors write a first book and they're like, I don't know if I can, like I want to continue, but I don't know if like the readership's gonna work out. So like it was an ambiguous enough ending where like we could continue, and I believe the next book is coming out in March of 2020. So I will be picking that up, and I am excited to get to read it. I think that's all I have to say. That was a little all over the place. Okay, yeah, sure, that's all I have to say. Let's keep going. Oh! This was the month for graphic novels, you guys. I hadn't really, I mean, I've read a couple of graphic novels in my life. I loved Raina Telgemeier when I was like 11 and 12. But the next graphic novel that I read was Fence Volume 1 by C.S. Pat and Johanna the Mad, or Johanna La Fuente. really don't know how to say that, I'm sorry. I really need to pick up the next volume. That's all I have to say. That's not all I have to say. I really need to pick up the next volume of this because I need to know what else is going to happen because this is not a big book. I really enjoyed the art style of this. I didn't show you guys the Heartstopper art style, but like, it's really pretty. I love the art style on Heartstopper too, which is more black and white, more like, chunky. But this one is like really, really pretty. And like, oh, it just makes me, oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. This book is about a kid named Nicholas, and he is, a fencer? Is that what you call them? You know how like a dancer, like a fencer? A fencist? He fences. He fences. He wants to get into this like prestigious boarding school, but he doesn't have enough money. He has to be there on scholarship, and to stay at the school on his scholarship, he has to get onto the fencing team. So he's competing against a bunch of other really good people, and he's more of an underdog. He's not like amazing, and he's roommates with this kid named Seji, I think, who's like one of the best fencers in the world, who's also trying to get on the team. And Nicholas's goal is to someday beat Senji in the ring fencing match. In a match. We're gonna say that because I don't know fencing. But this book helps you teach. It has fencing stuff in it, so like fencing. It was really good. Like I said, I'm really excited to keep reading. I really liked, there's one transgender character in here, and I don't know what their pronouns are. Everyone calls them Bobby. They dress like a girl, they wear skirts and stuff, so I don't know if they consider themselves transgender or if they just cross-dress. Their name is Bobby, so like, representation. And I definitely think that some of the characters might be like gay and stuff, which like, I have been all about that representation lately. Like, if something that I'm reading doesn't have some sort of like representation, unless it's like a historical fiction where that wasn't really a thing, like, don't make me read it because like, I need to read the next one like now. After I read Fence, I read Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell and Faith Erin Hicks. Oh yes, I did. Pumpkinheads is about these two characters named Josiah and Deja, and they've worked at this pumpkin patch every fall for like all of high school, like ever since they were old enough to get jobs. And this takes place in their senior year. It's their last year at the pumpkin patch until they go off to college. It's their last year working there, and it's their last day, so it's Halloween. And Josiah, who's been like MVP for like the entire time, because he's just an amazing employee, he's like, we need to stick to our job, we just need to work. And Deja's like, no, we're gonna go on an adventure. So they go all around the pumpkin patch and they like go on all the rides and like get food, and they go on this really fun adventure, and it's just beautiful. I also love the art style. I also love the art style for this one. They're all really, really cute. All my graphic novels, their art style is so cute. I need to pick up more that like I haven't read. I don't know what else to say. It's adorable. It's not super deep, you know. But like, I also really like the representation because like, she's black, she's plus size, and she's bisexual, so like, representation! Because like I said, I don't read anything that doesn't have representation in it anymore because like, it's important. Yeah, I love this book too. Yeah, okay, great, we're done. Stop talking about that one now. And like I said, this month, it was like, I want to say it was like the 28th, 27th, 26th. It was almost the end of the month. It was like the weekend before Halloween. And I was like, you haven't finished The Way of Kings yet, and you said you were going to finish it this month. So let's get that done. And I did. I finished The Way of Kings. I'm shook, I'm dead, I have all the feelings, and I can't deal with it. I still can't explain this book. I hope I'm not ripping it. I've read the entire thing and I still can't explain it. It's this really cool fantasy world. If you like fantasy and you're willing to give this chunky book a go, please do it, because oh my god, it's amazing. I need to read what's it called? I need to read Words of Radiance as soon as possible. My friend owns it. This is also his copy. He owns it, and he's gonna give it to me when I come home for Christmas. And like that literally can't come soon enough. Like 6 weeks, but also like I just can't wait. I need it because I want to read it so bad. Because this series is so freaking good. Like, I know it's huge and like it looks like it's literally gonna take so much time, but please read it because like it's so worth it. It's so worth it. It's so worth it. Okay. I love that book. Next. I reread Again But Better by Riccio. Because it felt fitting that now I'm here and I wanted to reread it, and I am actually going to London this weekend, which is where this book takes place, and so I was like, gotta reread it. What was I? Oh yeah, okay. This book is about a girl named Shane who is in, I believe, her junior year of college, when she decides that she's like, she doesn't have a lot of friends, and she feels like she isn't having like the quintessential college experience, so she studies abroad in London to sort of get that. And there she makes a promise to herself. She's like, I'm going to be more outgoing, and I'm going to try to make friends and all that stuff. Okay. I feel self-conscious filming in the dorms because I swear everyone can hear me. But like, why do I care? Yes, okay. She's like, I'm gonna be more outgoing. I'm gonna like put myself out there because, you know, that's what college is for. So she does, and she tries, and this book is beautiful. I related to this book more than I think I've ever related to a book in my entire life. Like, it used to be Fangirl was the book I related to most, but now it's this book. Because the main character is almost exactly like me, and she is living in London, and she's doing creative writing and like everything. Literally, like, I'm not in London, but like I'm in England, I'm doing creative writing, we love the same books, like I don't know how else to read this book, I don't know how else to talk about this book because I just love it so much, and I'll probably start crying talking about it again, so. Yeah, I love this book. It's one of my favorite books of all time. It's probably going to be one of my favorite books of the entire year, although Way of Kings is definitely competing for that spot, so. We'll see. Stay tuned for that video. Just kidding, it's not coming until like December, if it even comes, because like I love everything. Oh my god, this video's a mess. Okay, let's keep going. I think we're on the last book or whatever. Yes, the last book. I don't have it with me because I had to return to the library. I have the next book in the series though, wherever it is, so I can show you that. So you know what I'm talking about. This book right here. Hello, yes. Yes, I know, I'm aware. Okay, so the next book that I read was Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. And a lot of you are probably like, why are you reading Twilight? That's such a dumb book. Like, the book was only good in like 2006. And then there are people who are like, oh my gosh, yes, Twilight, my favorite book that I've read a million times but haven't read since like 2013. Why do I do this? It's so dark outside right now. I'm sorry, the lighting is probably crap. So I read Twilight because I genuinely felt like I was missing out on jokes and stuff. And I see people on YouTube reread Twilight and they're like, oh my god, it's not as good as I thought it was. Like, obviously, when you read stuff when you're 13, you're like, best thing ever, and then you reread it when you're like 20 and you're like, ooh, 13-year-old me did not know what she was talking about. But although I knew that this book wasn't going to be like my new favorite book, like all this stuff, I didn't even have plans to continue with the series. But obviously, since I have New Moon, like, I am going to. So, there's that. If you don't know what this book is about, I don't know where you've been. I'm going to put it out there. It's about a girl named Bella. She moves to Forks, and she starts getting involved with this guy named Edward, who she thinks is a vampire, but then she's like, that's insane, but then she's like, is it really? And then everything goes to hell from there. That's as far as I know from the first book. I haven't read the second book, obviously, so, like, that hasn't happened yet. Okay. This is the 4th time I've tried to record this. If you don't film this, I'm going to be pretty friggin' mad because, like, I don't even remember what I was going to say anymore. I was talking about Twilight, because the prose in that book leaves something to be desired. It's not great. It's mostly just Stephanie Meyer using thesaurus.com a lot to find more complex words and just shoving them in where, like, a less complex word could have been used. And making descriptions more flowery, which, like, is not great practice for prose, but this book has a really, like, solid plot, honestly. It's not, like, super complex the way, like, The Way of Kings plot, you know, Ninth House. Like, it's not, like, mind-blowing plot, but it's also not horrible. Like, I've read worse, plot-wise. So, like I said, I'm going to be continuing, as you could see by the fact that I have New Moon out from my library on my bookshelf. So we'll see how that goes. I will update you guys. Hopefully I'll finish the series this month. We'll see. You'll know when I film my November wrap-up. Oh my god. What else did I have to say about this book? Do I have anything else to say about this book? I mean, no. I'm glad I got to watch the movie, too. The movie was kind of annoying because, like, the book had some, like, actually sort of interesting banter. Because, like, a lot of the stuff that happens in the book is, like, super intense and, like, I can kill you right now. So having, like, Edward and Bella, like, you know, joking is nice because you get sort of a different view, if that makes sense. But the movie didn't have any of that. It was all just, like, serious and dark. And while I really enjoyed seeing my home state, my homey Washington state, represented in literature, because, like, it really doesn't get representation. 90% of the time, you're not gonna see a book that's set in Washington state, because it's just not fun. Honestly, California and New York, those are, like, and then, I mean, if you read Rainbow Rowell, Omaha, Nebraska, because, like, everything takes place in Nebraska, because we love Rainbow Rowell. So, I liked seeing the homey Washington state representation, seeing, like, them go to Port Angeles, which, like, I've been to, like, it's just cool to be like, oh, hey, I've been there. Yeah. Oh, one thing I gotta say, I've heard people talk about Twilight a lot, like, I watch Poem Bananas books religiously, so I've seen her talk about Twilight, and I've heard people talk about the plot before. But they don't really talk about the ending of the first book. They talk about Bella moving to Forks, Bella, you know, meeting Edward and, like, learning he's a vampire. But the ending, I was not prepared for that. Not prepared. And yeah, I just was not prepared. And, yeah, I almost died. Yeah, I didn't really die. Like, I wasn't that invested yet. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Those were all the books that I read in October. I also read a little bit of Carry On. Like, I'll talk about that at the end of November because I mostly read it in November, so, like, I will talk about it then, I promise. I am not currently reading anything because I finished Wayward Son and now I am on a book hangover because I don't know what to read next. Because I have so many books that I'm trying to read this month that I just can't. I can't decide which one to read. Hello. It's Maddie from the future. So, story time. I have a DSLR, so it only records for approximately 30 minutes. So every 30-ish minutes I have to check and make sure, see what the last thing I got was, and then start a new clip. So this happened because I talk a lot. So I went up and I was like, okay, here's the end, so I will record it again and then, you know, end it. So I did the entire ending again, and then I forgot to press record. So I was like, fine, I'll try it again. I forgot to press record 2 more times, and then when I did press record, my camera died. So I'm pretty sure this is like my 6th or 7th time filming this ending. It's fine. It's not like the lighting has changed at all. It's not like the angle has probably changed. It's not like I look sweaty AF because I just got back from dance. Like, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I believe where it was is what I was going to say. I'm going to check because I don't remember. Hold on. So I was talking about that I don't have anything to read right now. And that's true. I still haven't decided what I'm going to read next. I guess I will start on Shadow and Bone. I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Down below, I want you to comment your favorite book that you read in October and a book that you're really excited about to read in November. Because maybe I can add them to my TBR too, because obviously I need to add more books to this, because that's the only solution here. It's not like I should read some of them before I decide to add more, you know? So yeah. I'll see you next time. Bye!